Hey everybody, how's it going? I got a comment recently that I talked too slow, so I'm going to try and overcome that with this video, at least temporarily. Hey Ben, how's it going? I've been trying to call you, but I haven't succeeded, so I thought I'd leave you a public video, and the benefit of that is that everybody else can see what I'm talking about and my thoughts on the subject. YouTube, wanted to talk a little bit about YouTube. It's a corporation. I like to call them greed machines. The reason is that they are more like machines than biological entities. Biological entities, we all know, are generally singular. There's that could be a cell, whatever. Machines, however, have structure. Let's use a pyramid. The concept is that it's mechanical. You establish rules, guidelines for within the corporation, and the whole goal is to get as many profits up to top of the corporation as possible. There's the trickle-down effect, not very effective at benefiting your workers. YouTube is kind of interesting because their business model is not like most corporations. They do not get their income from users of their product. They get it indirectly through advertisement. There are so many viewers that they really don't give a shit about because the money's not coming from them. If they decide not to use it, there's plenty more users where that came from. And but yeah, so their profits come from other corporations. I'll go ahead and make these are not tiny, they're in the distance, okay, just to be clear, but that's where the money comes from. Pizza box, great. Biological entities like you, Ben, and let's go ahead and turn this little cell into Benny. Get a big bushy mustache and some beardage there. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a little nucleus too. Whatever. Okay. Now, because of this model of where they get their money, they actually don't care about users much, especially individual users like you, Ben, who are pretty loyal to the site because they enjoy the benefits of being able to communicate with other people through YouTube. And losing you, cutting, if you stop using their site, it's not a big deal. Their money's coming from the advertisers, and the advertisers are interested in the huge number of users. And of course, one user leaving does not affect overall numbers very much, so this money is still going to continue to come in. Now, what they're more afraid of, they have almost no fear of you suing them, Ben, because of the fact that you're a biological entity without many resources. I'm doubting you have a personal lawyer. If you do, it's not cost effective for you to sue the site, and they're very protected because when you started using the site, you entered into a contract which said that you wouldn't do a whole lot of things. Now they say they're going to do a whole lot of things that they don't do, and that's fine because it's their contract. It's rules of engagement between you two that's mainly meant to control and limit your abilities. Now, what they're more afraid of is lawsuit from other corporations. Now, these could be their advertisers could sue them, or they could be unrelated corporations, which we know there's tons and tons of those out there, and they have a lot of resources because corporations build up profit, and they use this as a slush fund for expenses, and they're more than willing to spend a little bit of money to make more money in the future. And that means if they hold copyrights over materials that are ending up on YouTube, and they sue YouTube for allowing it to go unnoticed, well, YouTube could be at risk. Now, interestingly, YouTube's strategy is not one of copyright policing. What they've decided to do is what I like to call a cover your ass policy, which is very strict rules of conduct for its users that limits you from posting any copyrighted material that you do not have written permission from the copyright holder to post. That means if you're shooting a birthday party your 4-year-old child in a restaurant, and that restaurant happens to be playing a radio station which you have no control over, and so in the background of your birthday party that you may just want to share with family members through YouTube, there may be copyrighted material. Now, without written express permission from all copyright holders of any song that comes on the radio, you're breaching YouTube's terms of service. Whew! Now, that's a pretty severe stance, and it completely ignores copyright law, especially the fair use clause, which I can't go into in this video. But the concept is that copyright is supposed to protect creators of physical works from losing money to other people who are just going to reproduce it. And this started in the Industrial Revolution, when copyright law started, because authors were afraid that owners of printing presses, which took some money to get started, would just start duplicating their works, and they wouldn't be able to sell what they had published because rival publishers would just be printing it ad nauseum to make profit. Now, copyright law is supposed to protect profits. So if people are doing things with your work that does not involve profiting and does not impede your ability to generate sales from your work, it's covered under fair use. And that's all I'll say for now, but I will be posting a video about copyright law, about fair use clause in particular, and probably a third video going more in depth about YouTube. Who knows when they're gonna come? I am so lazy and bad, and I'm gonna check time. 6:51, that's fine. I do have to wrap this up though. So yeah, YouTube really doesn't care about you. They don't care about the community. They're more interested in making profits from the advertisers, and as such, this is why they react the way they do. They've got complaints from 2 individuals, I think. One of the universities in Pennsylvania, I don't know which one you said, and also another one from some individual user who it turns out doesn't own the copyright anyways. But when they receive 2 at once, and when one involves multiple, because I think that the university complaint involved 2 videos about Carl Jung, if I remember. So they pull all your videos. Why? It sends 2 messages. One, it sends a message directly to you. We have complete control over you. You made agreements when you joined our sites to abide by these rules, and you have broken them. We've just noticed you broken them, and this is to show that they have complete control over you. You have no rights as a user of the site. It sends a clear message that in the future you shouldn't engage in copyright infringement. The other message it sends is to the other corporations, both their advertisers and also the unrelated corporations that may hold copyright. And the message there is that while we don't police our own people, we're not actively looking for copyright infringement. If you contact us in writing, we're going to act very quickly and very profoundly to remove those videos and to review that user who may, have other violations. All right. Hope that was quick enough. Talk to y'all later. I'll be talking about copyright more in the future. It's an interesting subject, and as an artist, I have a particular interest in it. You say, what? You're an artist?